we've been serving more brands than just drop shippers because we do something called drop branding, where let's say you sell these cups, right? These like steel cups, and you have a brand. Typically, you have to order 60 days worth of inventory at least. You have to import them into a warehouse here in the US. You have to pay the warehouse, and then you have to ship them out to your customers from there. And if orders come in internationally, then shipping is super expensive. But with us, we have 2 facilities in China. And what we can do is we can order you 7 days worth of inventory because we can replenish it from the factory every week. And you don't have to pay for any of the shipping up front. So if you were importing 60 days worth of this product, you're paying for the product and the shipping to get it to the US. You're spending tens of thousands, if not 6 figures for inventory. Whereas with us, we can put your logo on it. We can keep it in our warehouse in China, and you're only spending a couple bucks per unit to keep it there. And we can get your packaging, store a bunch of the packaging in our warehouse, and then we can ship all over the world. We ship it to the US now in 4 to 9 days. That's our fastest shipping line, which is very comparable to what most DTC brands are shipping now. So a lot of bigger brands and people that want to build brands that can last are working with us to do drop branding, is what we call it.
Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Shahid Durrani. Today we have with us Jared Getz. Jared is the founder and CEO of Zendrop, an e-commerce marketplace that connects reliable suppliers and online merchants and drop shipping stores. Welcome to our show, Jared.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So it looks like you just started this back in 2019, correct?
Yeah, this business was launched in 2019. We spent about 2 years building it and launched in 2019.
How did it affect you with COVID?
Oh, it was really bad, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of so we have an operation over in China, and we ship directly to consumers all over the world. And we put the products on commercial airlines in bulk, ship them to sorting facilities. Like, for example, if we have 10,000 orders, we put it on a commercial airline. We'll fly it to Dallas, Texas, unpack it, and then ship the individual products out to all the customers. And we launched the platform in August of 2019. So right before COVID became a thing. And it became super viral, which was crazy. We hit our first 7-figure month, like our 3rd month launching.
Amazing.
And then the 4th month is when COVID hit. So we had tens of thousands of new users fulfilling their orders through us, but we couldn't actually ship the product out because there was no commercial airlines. So we tried to put the products on boats. We tried to come up with other shipping methods, but we were promising our customers 7 to 15 day shipping. But when you put it on a boat, we're looking at 60 days. So it was a huge mess, and it almost tanked us as a business. We had to basically regroup and start over after that.
So can you share that experience of how you regrouped and how you came up with a solution?
Yeah, at the time, it felt really, I was like feeling like a victim because I was like, I did everything right and this was not my fault. And I had built a reputation in the industry and people are like, oh, this company sucks, like blah, blah, blah.
Reviews? Were there reviews like that you saw?
Yeah, there were some reviews. You got to imagine, right? We scaled to almost 100,000 installs in our first 3 months, and then we couldn't ship anything. So we couldn't keep our promises. So it was hard. And it was like a lot of the deep self-doubt started kicking in. Like maybe I'm not smart enough to run this business, or I bit off more than I could chew. But I've never given up on anything like in my life. I always just keep pushing forward. And it's just a matter of effort and time. And eventually in a lot of reflection, a lot of thinking, a lot of planning. And we actually used it as an opportunity to relaunch as a new, fresher brand anyway. So like we used the time to build the platform better, rebrand it and relaunch it. And everyone knew that it was the same platform. It's not like we were coming back and trying to be a different company, but it was like, hey, here's what happened. We sent out mass emails to our list. Here's what happened. Here's why we're better now. and blah, blah, blah. And we were able to learn from that experience. And since then, we've had over 1 million Shopify merchants connect stores to ZenDrop, and we've been growing every year.
That is incredible. I love that. So you mentioned installs. Was it 300 installs in the first 3 months? What was that number you shared?
No, we had almost 100,000 installs in the first 3 months because it went super viral. There was a big need for that in the market.
Can you share?
Yeah. So previous to building ZenDrop, so rewind maybe 5 years prior to that, I was one of the biggest drop shippers here in the US. Like I was selling 2,000, 3,000 orders a day of viral products. And I had built an education business. We were doing courses and coaching and masterminds. And that turned into one of the biggest coaching businesses here in the US for drop shippers. And I had built a community of over 500,000 people on my email list, 100,000 people in my Facebook group, tens of thousands of students. So I built ZenDrop to serve that community. And through doing the education business, I knew all the influencers, I knew all the educators, I knew the market very well, and I had a reputation in the market. So when I launched, I was able to get a bunch of people to promote it, and I promoted it to my whole audience, and it just started spreading word of mouth, and it just became viral.
And so most of your customer base right now are drop shippers?
Yeah, our platform services drop shippers, but the cool thing is that we've been serving more brands than just drop shippers because we do something called drop branding, where let's say you sell these cups, right? These like steel cups, and you have a brand. Typically you have to order 60 days worth of inventory at least. You have to import them into a warehouse here in the US. You have to pay the warehouse, and then you have to ship them out to your customers from there. And if orders come in internationally, then shipping is super expensive. But with us, we have 2 facilities in China. And what we can do is we can order you 7 days worth of inventory because we can replenish it from the factory every week. And you don't have to pay for any of the shipping up front. So if you are importing 60 days worth of this product, you're paying for the product and the shipping to get it to the US. You're spending tens of thousands, if not 6 figures for inventory. Whereas with us, we can put your logo on it. We can keep it in our warehouse in China, and you're only spending a couple bucks per unit to keep it there. And we can get your packaging, store a bunch of the packaging in our warehouse, and then we can ship all over the world. We ship it to the US now in 4 to 9 days. That's our fastest shipping line, which is very comparable to what most DTC brands are shipping now. So a lot of bigger brands and people that want to build brands that can last are working with us to do drop branding is what we call it. It's a hybrid where it's a lot less cash flow, a lot less risk, and it allows you to be much more versatile. You can also test a bunch of other products, right? Let's say you have this cup brand. You want to figure out what's my next product line. Rather than importing a bunch of something new and hoping it sells, you can test 50 different cups tomorrow. And whenever people start buying, you can put your brand on, put it in our locations in China, and ship it to your customers. So that's our normal customer base now. It's just really e-commerce businesses.
So the private label, is that similar to private label, the new hybrid model?
Yeah, it is. It is private labeling. It's the same thing as if you were bringing your product to the US. Just you don't need to order as much inventory, and we replenish it every day.
Cost effective, and it allows you to be nimble and test other products before investing a bunch of money in something new. How does that part work? If an entrepreneur has their own idea, I guess you would just complete the fulfillment for it, right? From China. So we have over 1 million products on ZenDrop. We have 2 logistics centers in China, and we're connected with tens of thousands of factories. So we can source virtually anything you could find on Alibaba or AliExpress. If it's not already on ZenDrop, we can get it sourced within 1 day. You do product research, you find a product that's similar to the one that, you want to get into, and you tweak the product a little bit and you launch that product on Amazon. So is it similar to that, or would this work in conjunction with Amazon? We support Shopify merchants. So all of our installs are from Shopify. Okay, it's purely Shopify. I understand now. For example, if there's an entrepreneur that's looking to create another stream of income, how would that experience be from start, if you want to dumb it down, I guess, 100%. To start with ZenDrop from the beginning to becoming profitable?
Yeah. First of all, we do have ZenDrop Academy, which shows you how to do all this stuff. But
Okay.
to give it in a simple term, to paint the picture of the framework of how you get started in this business, typically you want to create a Shopify store, a general store where you can sell really anything. It's just a general online store. And you do some product research. You find 20, 30, 40 products that you think could sell well. And you put them on your store. You connect to ZenDrop, you put them on your store. We also have a trending product section in our platform, so you can find products right away. And then you run Facebook ads to, depending on your budget, anywhere from 1 to 50 products a week. You could spend like $50 on each of them, see what you get the lowest cost per acquisition on profitably. Like, let's say you're selling this cup for $30. You get it on ZenDrop for $5. You're making a $25 margin. So if you're acquiring customers for less than $25 on ads, you're profitable. And if the customer buys 2 or 3 or 4, you're profitable on those orders. So you find the product that's profitable. And then what I like to do is create a store that's around this single product or this type of product, a niche store. So you'd create a drinkware store or an outdoor store, whatever it is, right? And then you build the brand around it. Now you spend your energy on making the brand nice, on making the page perfect, on making your images and your videos all good. In the beginning, you're just testing. You're just throwing stuff on your store. You're throwing out ads. You're seeing what works. And then you invest your energy on making the product that's working into a really well-made store with a brand.
So do you have templates as well that people could use, Shopify templates that are turnkey?
So there's tons of like free apps or free themes on Shopify. We go through that stuff in ZenDrop Academy on how to set it up to convert. But this business model is super powerful. I made my first dropshipping store scaled from 0 to $2 million in 60 days and went on to do over $10 million that year. And I've done that for years. So there's you can make a lot of money dropshipping products online.
How much ads did you have to spend to get there?
So I was spending about $20,000 a day to do about $50,000 a day in orders. The goal is when you're profitable, you want to spend as much as you could. Because every dollar you put in, you take 2 out or you take 3 out. So you want to spend as much as you could, scale as much as you could. And as you're spending, you're feeding the pixels data on your customers so that cost per acquisition gets lower over time. And then you could automate the business too. I had virtual assistants doing all the customer support, of course. I had media buyers running my ads. And I was probably spending about 20 minutes a day just checking in on things. My store was printing 25 grand a day in profit. So it's a really great business model. It holds a special place in my heart because it really changed my life. It allowed me to travel. It allowed me to buy the things that I thought would make me happy, which later in life I realized is not really the path to fulfillment anyway. But the business model was my kind of foot in the door in my first kind of venture that had success.
So speaking about fulfillment, is that where the name came from as well? ZenDrop?
Yeah, I'm a pretty spiritual person. I've been to meditation retreats. I've done plant medicine journey. I meditate daily. I get the sauna and the cold plunge here. And I'm very much into reflection and personal development. And ZenDrop just
same here.
We wanted to give a name that's okay. Good. Sometimes dropshipping, you have bad experiences when you're working with a supplier in China. I had a very bad experience when I was working with a supplier in China where the supplier actually sent out 7,000 fake tracking numbers. So I was collecting the money from my customers. I was paying him and he was sending out fake tracking numbers and keeping all the money, which was a $500,000 hit that I took in about a week. And it was not Zen at all. It was the opposite. We wanted to build a brand that people feel comfortable that we can support their back end and they can scale.
Yeah. There's always a risk.
We have over 10,000 5-star reviews. Support team is amazing. There's always going to be errors and logistical problems at scale. There's no way around it, but it's a matter of how you handle it. And our team, we got about 45 people on the team. Every month we do an all hands meeting and we like to talk about what we practice, right? We would like to bring these habits and practices to the team and encourage people to also be on this mindful path. So we're very much about that as a company culture.
That's wonderful. For the products that you carry, do you have some kind of stats for someone who signs up new to ZenDrop to simplify it, the top product that's producing the most and is expected to produce in the next coming few months. And then you recommend them to take that product and start with funneling their ad spend through Facebook ads.
The short answer is yes. We have a section in Zendrop called Trending Products where you can see all the products that many people are adding to their stores and selling. But we also have a fiduciary interest in our big sellers where we don't want to share their product data with everyone else. So it's a balance. If somebody comes to us with a brand or a winning product, we're not going to put that product on the trending product section. But we do have a new offer we're launching that is, you get a Zendrop membership and a Store Filter membership, which is the platform that our CMO built. And it's a product research platform that you can get real deep into what's selling where. You could look at other stores and see what they're selling the most of, what are their ads, how long they've been selling the product. You can do tons of research there. But it's a balance, right? We don't want to give people's winning products to other people, but we also do want to help people get started with things that might really work to sell.
So the trending list, people that are signing on and taking that leap with the trending list, are they seeing profits? I guess it depends on the ad spend, but in general, are you looking at that if the trending list is doing well for people?
Yeah. So most people who start a business don't succeed. Just bottom line. They either give up or they have many limiting beliefs and
mindset.
They don't have the mindset, or they don't commit the time, or they have one bad experience and they get scared and they give up. So the majority of people that start a dropshipping business don't succeed, just bottom line, because of the nature of human beings. But the people that follow the formula, the people that are testing products consistently, when I was coaching, I had a weekly coaching call that I would do, and I had about 500 people in that program. And it was funny. I could always tell who was going to succeed and who was not going to succeed right off the bat. And it had nothing to do with their technical skills. It had nothing to do with their knowledge about e-commerce even. It was simply the people who showed up excited and they were like, wow, there's millions of products that I could sell to billions of people. I just got to find the right combination. Those people succeeded. The people that showed up, they were skeptical. I think it might work, but for me, I'm not so confident. Yeah, the people that were like looking for reasons why it wouldn't work, they would give up and they would fail. And with drop shipping, there's, like I said, there's millions of products that you can sell to billions of people. So the only way you fail is if you give up. If you try testing enough products, you will find something that works. And the beauty of it is when you find something that works, you can scale a lot. So even if you spend $10,000 over the course of a few months testing 50 products and you find one winning product, you'll make your $10,000 back. You can make it back in a day or in 2 days, or, if you get to, you're doing $1 million months, which is very possible drop shipping. I've done it many times. You make back all that money right away. And then you have a new kind of belief, right? You've outperformed what you thought was possible. And now you're never going to go back. Now you're always going to keep trying. So it's really the people that get past that giving up point that end up succeeding.
Yeah, you had a couple of good points. One is the self-image. What do they believe they can do in their subconscious when they get into business? A majority of them, basically, they just don't have that belief that they can do it. But the good news is that they can change that belief. They can make that change going into business to have that belief that they can do it. Anybody can do it. The second point that you mentioned, always looking for why it won't work. That's a simple one. It's the law of polarity. It's a law. Like everything has in and out, up and down, hot and cold. So if you're looking for how it won't work, it has to have the opportunity to how it can work. Where are you putting your energy? That's another mindset thing. So that's definitely important points.
You're definitely speaking my language. These are the things that I talk about more than tech, more than e-commerce knowledge.
Same here.
I published a book about 4 years ago called Overnight Success. And it's your playbook, your inner playbook for your first big breakthrough in business. And the first chapter is about outperforming your limiting beliefs. When I first started drop shipping, my store was doing, maybe $500 a day. And my belief was that $500 a day is where I should be at. Anything below is bad. I know there's people that are doing $10,000 a day, but I don't believe it's possible for me yet. But if you keep going, you keep trying, eventually you'll hit $1,000 a day. And now you shift your standard, right? 500 is bad. 1,000 is normal. You keep going, you outperform that. You hit the $10,000 mark. 500 is hard. 1,000 is really bad. Anything under 10,000 is not good. And you have to keep outperforming what you believe is possible to keep raising your standard of where you want to be at.
Yes.
And the only way to do that is to keep moving forward. Problem is, most people don't have patience. Most people are distracted. Most people are, they'll start something. They can't really focus on it for a long time because their mind is consistently distracted with all the things on our phones and our messages, our social media. And they're training themselves not to be able to focus for a long period of time and to get these consistent dopamine hits from social media that gives them that feeling that they're ultimately looking for in a little dose and allows them to just give up. But if you keep going, eventually you will perform better than what your subconscious believes is possible for you. And that's the formula to keep growing. You just have to outperform those beliefs.
Yeah. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, as they say. This is great stuff. Can you share with me or with us what kind of budget should they come in with when they start working with ZenDrop to find that right product? How much budget should they come in with?
Yeah, so that answer varies. I would say if you don't have a job and you only have $1,000 left to your name, first of all, you're pretty much broke anyway, so you might as well give it a shot. But there's ways to advertise for free, right? There's ways to create TikTok videos and put them out. And if one of them goes viral, you can make tons of sales. But if you're specifically, if you're advertising on Facebook or YouTube or Google, you want to have a budget of, call it $200 to $500 a week to spend on ads. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to lose $200 to $500 a week. That means that you need to be able to spend that, and you might break even, right? You might lose a couple $100, you might make a few $100.
Part of business. Yeah.
If you're testing 5 products a week, you want to spend at least $100 on ads on each product, right? So you'll take 2 creatives, or you may take a video and a photo creative. You could even just rip them off the internet and put them on ads, spend $100. Maybe you'll make 1 sale and you'll make $40 back and you lost 60. But you want to at least have a few $100s a week to put into advertising. And if you don't, then I would encourage you to try the organic method, making viral videos, putting them on TikTok specifically, because people post their first video on TikTok, you can get millions of views if it goes viral. So it depends on where you're at, but I would say a few $100s a week, at least if you're running Facebook ads.
Understood. Thank you, Jared. Can you share with us what you feel your innermost superpower is that got you to this point in life?
Yeah, I would say it's my belief in my strong belief that the way you feel gives you an energetic frequency that equals the thoughts that you'll receive that will push you down that path, rather than waking up and looking at all the outcomes of the things I was doing and harping on the things that aren't working. Shifting my focus to doing things that will make me feel love, will make me feel abundance, will make me feel like I'm moving forward. Things like going on a walk with good music, or meditating, or good breath work. Something that makes you feel energized. And the belief that in feeling that way, your vibrational frequency will manifest the thoughts that you need to move forward. And also the belief that most people try to create from a linear fashion. They try to, first I need to do this, and then this needs to happen, and then I could do this, and then finally this will happen, and then I can go and do that. But we live in a universe of unlimited possibilities. So things don't happen the way you expect them to, but they will happen the way they're supposed to. And you will get to where you want to go or beyond by letting go of the outcome and focusing on the intention, focusing on what you have control over, which is your habits, your discipline, which creates self-confidence, and self-confidence allows you to see opportunities that you wouldn't be able to see without it. So focusing on those things that you have control over, and knowing that by doing that work, you've done the work. You can let go of the outcome, and the universe will work in a way to get you to whatever matches your vibrational pattern, how you feel on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah. You're speaking my language as well. That's great, Jared. Nice meeting you, my friend. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about this stuff for hours. These are my passions.
Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to keeping your focus on what can work and what you can do to achieve success, the foundational thing that most people can relate to and they feel good about is the fact that you feel better. You feel good. So when you feel good, your actions are better. The things that you do amplify, and everything else that you share, Jared, like that is the back end. That is working regardless. So it's beautiful what you shared. I appreciate that you shared it on our show. I can see how you're gaining the success that you're gaining. It's definitely extremely important to not go by logic. Logical is great, but if you're an entrepreneur, if you're going in business, taking logical steps is going to be pretty boring, and it's just going to keep you limited. But thinking broad like that and going after what you truly want is going to make a big difference in your life. So I appreciate you, Jared, for coming on our show, sharing everything that you shared. I'm definitely going to check out the site, look at it in detail. And if there's anything else you want to share before we go, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think just to sum up what we're talking about in a 10-second tidbit, like something I remember every day, is focus less on what you need to do and more on who you need to be. And the things that you need to do will naturally come to you. And most people are always focused on what they need to do. They disregard their energy. They disregard how they interact with others. And they're operating from a place of lack. They're operating from a place of scarcity, a place of separation where they are to where they want to be, which causes frustration. And then guess what? The universe is going to bring you more of that. So shift the focus from, hey, what do I need to do today to, okay, who do I need to be today? And do those things that person would do. Good point.
Great, Jared. Audience, thank you so much for joining us for another episode today with Jared. His information will be in the show notes. We always talk about adding sources of income is very important. And drop shipping, e-commerce is definitely one of those top ones that you need to look into. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for helping us grow.